Hello.
Hello
Oh,
there,
oh my God. I think I just ripped my pants. Okay.
and welcome to Babbling.
With the boys.
We're doing the top 5 MCU films, Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Let's get right into the news. Number one. Yeah. These shoulders like this. Ooh, ooh. These shoulders like that. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay.
My number 1 is Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah, okay. Understand. This one had a lot. This one was an impressive juggling act.
It was so good. It was so good. When it came out, I was like, oh, we're introducing Black Panther and Spider-Man. And you're like, what? And you're like, oh, and we're doing the Civil War storyline. And you're like, what? How? You're gonna have what? Like, it was so interesting. How are they gonna pull this off? And they intro the characters so well with that, like, Captain America out in the field doing the work, and like something goes wrong and they blow up the building. Comparing this to like Man of Steel, where they just like blow up buildings like willy-nilly, you're like,
willy-nilly. Yo, Superman destroys a city. That was great. He just straight up just goes, hey, infrastructure, goodbye. Woo!
Yeah, and they address it in the next film, sure. But in this one, they really put power behind it. When Iron Man is on that stage and he's doing the whole like CGI therapy thing, and then like the backstage with the mom, the child whose kid was in Sokovia, helping like build a school, and you're like, there's some deep stuff. And then they go into the argument of like whether it should be government controlled or not, and bringing in the history of Iron Man wanting that control from the beginning, and having like trying to build Ultron. And you have Captain America, who was just screwed over by the government from S.H.I.E.L.D. He can't trust anymore. What starts out as a scrimmage becomes a full-on war.
Scrimmage.
Baron Zemo is another really cool villain who does something so interesting, who plays with the minds of these heroes to fight themselves, within themselves, because he doesn't have the physical strength to fight them. So to have those wits is something that you see in like the best of Lex Luthor, and the best of Doctor Doom, and the best of the best villains. You see that kind of intellectual battling, which I think Baron Zemo does amazingly in this film. And the performances in this film from Chris Evans and Tony Stark are and Robert Downey Jr.
He is Tony Stark.
Some of the best performances in the MCU. And a great performance from Chadwick Boseman as well.
Yeah.
This interesting...
See, like, I find him more interesting in this movie than I did in Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that, like, he's just like, okay, he's dead. Like, that's so funny. And then, like, even in the car when he's like, how long do you think you can protect him from me? I was like, oh, and then he just comes out. The first time you see him, you see that like silhouette when he like tackles Bucky, and he's just like, and you're like, oh, yeah. Or the thing when he's like running and you just see him like going faster than the cars. That was sick. That whole like chase scene is freaking fantastic.
Whole chase scene. And the 20-minute airplane fight scene with Ant-Man going big, and the like actual stakes of Rhodey getting hit, and like having these actual wounds, these actual things that will carry on throughout the rest of the films. This has lasting effects that you don't see again until Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, no, I like the things I like most about this movie. Airport scene, obviously. I thought Spider-Man's introduction was really good. That's another thing where it's like when you get halfway through this movie, you're like, wait, Spider-Man's in this too. Oh, it's a really. I thought his introduction was handled really well. The like last scene where Tony realizes that Bucky's the one who killed his parents. I thought that was really like well done. And he's like, I don't care. You killed my mom. Like that. I was like, I get that. Like I understand. And then also understand Steve wanting to protect the last thing he has from like a life that is now gone.
You're not like, oh, like these are the good guys. They're gonna win.
No, it's like it's kind of a heartbreaking battle because you understand both sides.
You're like, yes, you feel for both parties, so you're like I don't know who I want to win this battle. Like I'm conflicted.
It's really good. The only reason it's not on my list, I feel like this is on everyone's list, that's why I have to defend myself here, but the only reason it's not on my list is, this sounds so nerdy, but this is honestly the only reason. The whole movie, I liked Zemo, like I liked his character, but you could have done the movie without it. There was enough like conflict where they didn't really need him to fight each other. No. I don't think he's a bad addition. But
well, who would have revealed the tapes?
Dude, that could have come out just like organically rather than him like like what if that's just they go to that thing where they're supposed to fight the people and it's just there? Like you could have done that.
Who would have unleashed the evil Bucky?
What with the chapter blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah. You could have gotten like
Freight train, helicopter,
car, 1990, whatever. Yeah.
Snowden, 1565.
Black sax.
Yeah.
Not like sax, like saxophone. I'm not being gross. And then the other reason is because this is so nerdy. Oh God, I hate myself. Because I read the Civil War comic book and it honestly was just way more epic when you had like all the superheroes. Like ever, like it was just, and the fact that there was like repercussions for stuff, like Captain America dies in that story. He just straight up dies. Spider-Man, well, I mean that leads to one more day, but I think it's cool that there was consequences for him outing his identity, and it's also the reason. Like you could say like, oh no, it's they want to enforce this thing because of like Wanda kills that building of people, but it's an accident and they save more people than they kill. In the comic books, it's because they accidentally like kill a school full of like little kids. Like a mutant accidentally destroys a school. Like I feel like that's like a way more like, yeah. Like when they're like, New York, and you see like all the, what are they called again? The T'Chari, like then they're fighting them and there's destruction. You could be like, yeah, but without the Avengers there, everyone would have died. Like at least they saved 70% of the people.
Well, Sokovia, that was gonna be.
That was
meteorite.
That's the only one. Yeah, that one's straight up.
That's why it's called the Sokovia Accords.
Exactly, but like they try to point to like other things, even when like Scarlet Witch blows up that people. Like I thought it was more impactful when it's like a school full of children. Like people would probably get upset with. Actually, no, they wouldn't, because Sandy Hook happened and guns are still. Anyways, that's not my point. I just thought it was way more epic. I'm not trying to get political. That's just. Anyways, it was just like way crazier when it was like every superhero ever somehow in this fight. So like I wanted them to wait like and do it after they had like the rights to like all the Fox stuff. Do it on a huge, larger scale. It's still, that airport scene is one of my favorite fight scenes in all of the MCU. But imagine how cool it would be if that wasn't just like in an airport parking lot, but it was like in this gigantic field, and you had like, instead of 12 characters, you had like 40. That'd be pretty crazy. It doesn't mean the movie's bad. It's just me being stupid.
I was going into Captain America Civil War being like, they have to kill somebody. Somebody died in the comics. They have to do something big here. And they didn't do it as big as what everybody's expectations were. They didn't have the big somebody die. But watching it again, it's just so good. It's just so coherent. And having that be an Avengers Endgame is impactful. And having this where it is in the mantra of this phase, I think this is going to stand out as one of the better films. But like, let's get to a movie that actually like had, like it ended and you're like, what?
Infinity War. That's obviously.
Are we just supposed to leave now? Is there like, oh, Nick Fury died in the end credit. Oh, and it wasn't like they all came back in the end credits scene? When is this movie out again? Like, what?
Wait, it's out in a year? We have to wait a year?
We have to wait a year?
Wow.
What?
Okay. Shout out to my friend who cried like a little bitch at the end of this movie. Yes.
I'm pretty sure I cried like a little when Spider-Man dies.
I got like it hurt me. I was like, oh, that's sad. But I wasn't like my friend. We saw it with my friend and his dad's like crying like a little bitch right now. And he was like, it's superheroes. But it was very funny. But yeah, no, I got emotional when Spider-Man died. But I don't think I cried, only because I know that it's like they'll all be back. Like there's no way.
Yeah, like the 1 in 1 million or whatever thing from Doctor Strange.
Like I was like, okay, it's fine. But I thought, see, the ending isn't even the reason I'm picking this. I just think this movie is what? Let's count. It's 3 different films. There's an Avengers story going on in Wakanda. There's a Guardians of the Galaxy story going on in space. And then there's a team up Spider-Man, Tony, Doctor Strange movie going on was it Titan or whatever?
And then there's Thor opening up a freaking dead star.
That's part of the
build
Guardians.
His Stormbreaker.
That's technically still part of the Guardians movie. Also, another scene that gives me goosebumps. Bring me Zemo! It was like always something happening. It almost felt like an overload, but like in a good way. Because it's so long, you don't really want to have that kind of like downtime all the time. And I like the fact that it was moving. And on top of that, every scene gave you some sort of like, ooh, Hulk just got beat up by Thanos. Ooh, goes to think Doctor Strange is here, he's with Iron Man. And that's, ooh, oh my God, they're here. Oh, Spider-Man's here. Ooh, and then it goes on like that forever. And even with the stuff on Earth, you're like, oh, those teams back. Ooh, oh, they're Wakanda. Ooh, like it's like just constant ooh. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like it's like nonstop. It's definitely the Marvel movie I've seen the most amount of times. I saw it like 6 times in theaters, and I probably on average watch it once every 2 months.
What happens where it's like Spider-Man's like, oh, we're using our made-up names?
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm Peter Parker. He's like Doctor Strange. He's like, oh, we're using our made-up names. I'm Spider-Man. There's that. There's the whoa, don't put your eggs in me. There's the where's Gamora? I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora? I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora? There's the Earth is closed today. There's the what was she doing up there the whole time?
That's one of my favorites.
When that alien chick gets like mowed down by the gigantic tires, and she's just like, gross. And like it's the alien blood all over. I chuckle like quite a few times, and I've seen it a lot.
Yeah, I love this film so much. It's the best Avengers film.
Yeah, I would say so. See, some would say Endgame. I think Endgame is as perfect as Endgame could have been. I think this one just had more. Endgame was like a beautiful conclusion, but this was like a beautiful setup to that conclusion.
Endgame like reflected on everything. This is like the actual like. I'm upset actually that they're having a Loki series now, because when Loki died at the beginning of Infinity War,
that was upsetting.
It hit.
Dude, Thor had like a bad day. Dude, like, technically, if you think about it, freaking Asgard just like blew up. Like when that happened, lost his home, dad dead, sister had to kill sister, Loki dead. That's a bad day. And I like the fact that they actually like talk about that.
No wonder he's teaming up with Peter Quill.
Yeah, and like Rocket's like, you sure you're up for this particular mission? And he's like, what do I have to lose? And like Rocket's like, well, I have a lot to lose. Personally, I have a lot to lose. But I like the fact that they like actually address that. The thing where he's like, whoa, you may want to wash that before you put it in. I had to hide that in my.
Again, I would just like to see the next Thor: Love and Thunder start out Peter Quill and Thor just in therapy. That's what needs to happen. They both need some help.
Didn't they do like something in like the end credits of like Iron Man 3 where he's like talking about like his like life or whatever, and then like Bruce is like, I'm not that kind of doctor. Bro, there has to be a superheroes in therapy. Like, you know what? I'm gonna make that a thing.
Make that movie. Make that be the next, like, everybody's like, oh, we need like the next like big Avengers. Like, I just want the Avengers sitting down, just in therapy, just like talking about their stuff.
That one of those, and maybe like a supervillain one. But like, make the supervillain one like that one episode of Batman the Animated Series, Almost Got Him, or like they're like talking about how they almost. You remember that episode?
Oh, that'd be so good. Oh
yeah, that'd be cool.
Too bad most of them are dead.
Well, wait till you have like Doctor Doom. Please don't kill off Doctor Doom after one movie, by the way.
It's just gonna be like alternate universe Loki and just Baron Zemo. They're like the two people that are still alive.
Well, I'm a little unimpressed by the turnout.
Well, oh wait,
Vulture can break out of prison.
Loki's gonna be like, I almost got him like these many times, and Baron Zemo's like, I did what I wanted to do. Kind of succeeded.
Yeah.
Loki's just gonna be like, shut up, mortal.
Before we close out, favorite Stan Lee cameo in the MCU.
I think that's another top 5. I think that's all. Like,
you want to do top 5 Stan Lee cameos? That's like for stretching the top 5's bit.
Okay, my favorite Stan Lee cameo is actually not in a Marvel film.
All right, what is it then?
It's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, at the
when he's animated
store?
At the store.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I miss him too. And it was like right after his death, and I was like,
that made me cry.
That made me cry. Like, I was like,
I'm a world bitch. I was like, he's dead. And, like, I don't know why it just hit me in that moment. Guardians 2, when he's like hanging out with the Watchers. And have you heard it's been confirmed that he's actually the same like character in all of his cameos? It's the same person.
A spy for like the celestial gods. Cool.
You have been listening or watching, if you're on YouTube, to Babbling
with the boys. Have a good week. Have a good life. Have a good year.
Yes.
And treat yourself.
Treat yourself. 2017. That's a reference to Parks and Recreation.
And stay spicy.
Spicy.